Hey everyone, excited to be back for this week's edition of Frequently Asked Questions for Commercial Real Estate. In today's video, what I want to do is talk about something that I actually just recently came across in my own professional career, and that is what exactly is a ground lease. We're actually currently looking at a opportunity as far as a ground lease is concerned, so I thought it'd be helpful for you in the audience to be able to get a feel for what exactly a ground lease is and why in the world you may want to consider pursuing it as an opportunity. Now, before we dive into this video, I would greatly appreciate if you can like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, ensures more and more people can hear this message and learn about the many facets of commercial real estate. So now that you've done that, go ahead and like and subscribe below. Let's go ahead and dive right into this episode. Okay, so the question we have here is, what exactly is a ground lease? Well, a ground lease is essentially an agreement whereby the tenant agrees to lease land from the landlord. This can be, let's say that you are, a logistics company, you need somewhere to park your trucks. You can execute a ground lease, meaning that, you rent the land from the individual and then you just decide to park your trucks there. Or it can be a little bit more elaborate, which is something that's very common, or much more common, I should say, on the coast, is that, that maybe this piece of ground is extremely valuable and very sought after, and the seller doesn't want to sell the property. You as a person, a developer or a business owner could come and say, look, I'll lease the land from you for a long period of time, develop a structure on it, and then I can just operate my business on site. Now, the issue with ground leases as it pertains to developing any type of property on the site is that once the building is completed and the lease expires, the building actually reverts back to the seller or to the person who owns the land itself. So a lot of times people think, why in the world would you want to do this? I mean, if that's the actual case. Well, in reality, if the piece of land is very coveted and it has phenomenal demographics, maybe you're in retail, it has awesome demographics, significant amount of traffic, has a great supporting system around it, meaning that it's a growing area, and there seems to be solid upward trends as far as the demographics and long-term prospects for the area are concerned. It may be wise for you to consider leasing the ground, developing a structure on it, and then operating your business on it. Now, typically with these ground leases in particular, if there's going to be a building developed on site, these leases can be extremely long. I mean, oftentimes it's 50 years or more. I've heard of leases or ground leases being executed for more than 100 years with all the options included on the back end. So these are very long agreements. So you would think over the time of you owning the property, the building will naturally have a life cycle, right? It'll naturally deteriorate over time. So the logic is that once it's reverted back to the seller or the person who owns the property, it will have expired its useful life as a building as well. So if you are in fact interested in executing one of these opportunities, you really need to analyze the area and get a feel for if you're going to be able to recoup the investment that you're going to make within the property. So, in the case of a quick service restaurant, for example, if you're looking to buy or lease ground lease a parcel and develop like a McDonald's or some other type of quick service restaurant on it, you need to make sure that the projections that you have over the course of your ownership of that building, I should say, is enough to cover whatever the costs are of developing that building, and then a margin on top of that as well. And ultimately that's dependent on the investor. So if your margin desire is a little bit higher, then you have to factor that into your final analysis. So another thing you need to really consider is the term length. So anytime you're considering building an actual property on the parcel, you need to make sure that term length is very long, oftentimes more than 50 years, to be able to account for the fact that you need to be able to get your useful life out of the building as well. And then finally, as far as financing is concerned, talk to your lender and ensure that they're okay with you moving forward with a ground lease. In particular, if you're going to be developing a structure on the property, some banks may be hesitant about doing so because if for some reason you can't pay the note, there's no way for them to be able to recoup that investment without actually trying to seize the land or whatever else. And a lot of times with the terms within the ground lease, the landlord may restrict what can and can't be taken back as far as the default on a contract with a bank. So again, you need to get very clear with that, and that starts with talking to your lender and making sure that they are in fact comfortable with you pursuing this as an opportunity as well. So Hopefully you gained some value from this video. If you guys like this channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you can like and subscribe to the channel because it really helps the YouTube algorithm. Ensures more and more people can hear this message. If you are in the Louisville metro area and you're looking for opportunities in the commercial real estate space, I'm a commercial real estate agent in town. I'd be happy to help you identify some. You can reach out to me via email at raphael@crescentigroup.com or give me a call at 502-536-7315. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you all next time.